Carl is considered to be the best lava player in the world. In today's video, as you guys can see in the background, we're taking a look at his absolutely insane gameplay to reach #1 in the world, not with the Evolution Voyager, not with the Evolution Skeletons, not with the Evolution Firecracker, #1 in the entire world with Evolution Barbarian. So we're seeing him playing here, of course, against one of the best players on the planet right now, Ryley. So good, so consistent, and I think we all know how good Ryley really is. And so I think like Ryley got a pretty good start there, and Carl's I think kind of now thinking what he's doing. I think for me it's pretty hard to explain there because I think I'm a decent lava player, but not really near Carl's level, and he just decides to sacrifice the whole Hawk Rider here. Which makes sense. The matchup, I would say, can be tricky for Carl because he doesn't have too much against the Mighty Mine and also Firecracker Psych, right? He can fireball one Firecracker, but like if he gets like the second one down, there will be a problem. So I think what Carl did really well here is kind of sacrificing the Hawk damage and now just going in for the bomb, just going for the balloon here, and Ryley needs to go for the bomb tower. And now the Skate Rings are coming down here from Carl. And also look at the balloon going to left side. This is going to be one shot. This is gonna be two shots, and this is looking so good. He's just gonna play Tombstone. He misses the Earthquake, and this is what Carl the Legend does, right? He absolutely punished the opponent. Even could think, okay, that's pretty no skill, right? Ryley overcommitted. He knew that, and he wasn't panicking after a really bad start. The Hawk Rider from Ryley got so much damage, but Carl just stays calm and wins this game at the end. Next thing I want to show you guys is against his opponent, Call of 26. So Call got #1 in the world. Yesterday he got it. Today he's absolutely crazy. And now he's playing on his mini account since his main account got to #1. So he's just like pushing his second account up there. And he was like he started yesterday at League 1. And now he's like at 2,400 medals, which is absolutely crazy. So what Carl does pretty well, and I think better than all of the lava players right now, like most of them, is like getting as much value as he can out of the Tombstone. What he does with the Tombstone is absolutely crazy. He gets so much value. So his opponent plays a really interesting deck here. He just decides to zap here. I don't know if the zap was worth it. I think Carl is kind of not happy about the situation here. And I think he just decides to kind of sacrifice the Ghost here. And this is kind of what's like really interesting. I think like 90% of you guys would have played a Tombstone there, but he knows he kind of needs to chill with that. Now he's just going to go in for a Tombstone like this. Why is he going to go Tombstone like that? Pretty obviously because he wants to still have it on the map and just goes in for the Mega Main now. And of course the start is not too great for Call Legend, but he's still, overall I would say, has a pretty solid situation because he's just like down 1.5k for lava and it's not really too big. So why is the Tombstone low so great? Because as you guys can see now, this kind of allows Call to going for lava on opposite lane, and he doesn't need to worry about anything. So he doesn't need to worry about the he doesn't need to worry about anything like a golden net because Tombstone will still clean it up. And the opponent is E-Dragon, and Carl is just like, what the heck is this guy flying? But he still does a pretty good job here. So the Magic Archer comes down. Magic Archer is not going to target that, and he gets a bit lucky, not going to lie. And now I think Carl is just going to go for a perfect zap here, and he gets the tower. I think he got a bit lucky there, but this is kind of action which kind of changed with the Skeleton Drinks. This 1 HP change actually helped Carl in the situation a lot, and now just Tombstone in the back. This is what Carl always does, and it's so annoying because it's so tough to push against that, because Carl's just always able to play Tombstone in the back, and then it's gonna stack another one, and every time you play a tube, they're just gonna walk into the skeletons. This kind of means like like the opponent doesn't really want to play a drill into a Tombstone, so the opponent needs to go for Magic Archer now. Carl is kind of like thinking, what am I gonna do? What am I not gonna do? And I'm just gonna go, and he's just gonna go for Fireball. Fireball is coming down, and Carl is now just gonna go in here for a zap, perfect zap, but another E-Drag is coming down. Of course, E-Drag gets a ton of value. So now Carl's just gonna go for Balloon in the middle since he knows Nate is outside a kill. And this Skate Ranks, guys, 1 HP change interaction is so busted. So next lava is coming down. Carl's doing a great job. Of course, NATO miss from opponents helping him here, but just like picture perfect defense at the end. The Tombstone in the back is winning Carl most of his games at a 1-1 situation. Next up here against Shadow, and Shadow plays the Skeleton King against this type of skeleton dragon. So this is interesting start. Opponent's a baby dragon. Now I'm gonna interested to see, is Cole just going for defensive lava? Is he just gonna sacrifice that? Is he just gonna go tombstone? Is he just gonna zap this? And he just goes tombstone in the back. Okay, I think he's kind of anticipating like a graveyard deck, but the opponent has golem. So how is he gonna stop the golem? So this was kind of a risky play from Carl. I think he decides to do it. I think he just expected the opponent to use graveyard, but he did not. And of course, this is now a bad situation. So Carl tries to tower trade, and I think this is gonna work. Why Lava Megami, not Lava Balloon? Lava Balloon, the opponent can activate the king. Lava Megami, no nitrogen hand, no baby dragon in hand. So this will be tower down. Of course, Carl is also losing his tower, but it's okay for him. So he's just gonna save his Barbarians up. Is he gonna go in the pocket? I don't think he is. He's just gonna go for Barbarians there. I think he kind of wants to save the tower, and I also think that's possible because the Barbarians are so busted. And now he needs to go tombstone here. Perfect tombstone placement. You guys gonna think, okay, it's not gonna kite, but it is. So just like really good. This is how you want to use a tombstone against the Skeleton King. So Cole's just gonna go zap. He upgrades zap also. Barbarian maybe gets on tower, no, but also the King Tower gets a bit chipped away. And I think the situation is not too bad. Let's kind of see if Cole's deciding to defend this. Okay, he just goes in for Mega. I mean, I think like if the Barbarian Bird wouldn't have played by the opponent, he would have just gone in for Balloon defensive. Tornado's coming down here. I think like a solid tornado from the opponent, to be fair. But I guess Cole's just gonna decide to go now for Lava and build up a huge push. So he kind of goes in that Lava, like he goes Lava a bit like far in the arena, not like really in the back. I feel like it's just because he doesn't want the opponent to cycle back to another counter. So this is kind of what when he's doing it, right? Because if you go on the back, you're kind of allowing the opponent to cycle like 2 baby links or something. So this is kind of what he's doing there. So he's now just gonna go for the balloon here. Also great uses of the Barbarians, right? He really cycles them sometimes on purpose just to get the evolved Barbs. He's just gonna go for Fireball here, perfect Fireball. I think he's also gonna go Zap here. Call the Legend Zaps are absolutely outstanding, killing everything, getting a Balloon Bomb, and there's no counter push left. There's not even a counter push left. The Baby Tank will also most likely die almost, which is absolutely crazy. And this is kind of what your main concern is, right, with Lava Balloon, right? So of course, you're getting a ton of damage from the opponent's tower, but the counter push is like the difference between E-Giant, example. E-Giant is gonna kill everything. The Lava Balloon, of course, doesn't, but Call is doing an absolutely amazing job here. So also make sure to check out his YouTube channel in the description below. This is kind of what you want to do. So I think he's just gonna go now for his Zap here, perfect Zap timing, of course, it's Call. And now he's just gonna go for the Evolved Barbarians in the pocket, and the Fire Adder. The Fireball will be enough, but I feel like he's already finishing him off here because he doesn't have any response. Lava Pup is getting on tower, and I don't know how good this guy is, but like if you're thinking Lava on is no skill and you watch this guy, they are like really great micro interactions, especially with the Tombstone guys. Next up here against Drew, and this guy plays an absolutely incredible spammy deck. So a really annoying deck, especially without points, without arrows, and he just has Fireball Zap. So Cole just goes in for the Scaling Center Bridge, and this is his favorite Lava variation. He likes the Mega Man more, he likes the Inferno more. He always tries out like sometimes different decks, but at the end of the season, when it's all about like getting a high finish, this is his main Lava deck. Of course, back then with the Valkyrie, with the Guards, with the Mighty Miner at one point, but right now, of course, he has the Evolution Barbs in there. And also, just gonna decide to split them. This is like kind of, I feel like his playstyle changed a bit after Supercell brought in this this Evolved Barbarians, since now he plays a bit more aggressive than he used to be with the Barbarians. I think he wouldn't have not played that when the Evolution's not available, but it kind of makes him like putting in a spot when the opponent's going in again. He got the Evolved Barbarians, they're not going to die to Fireball, so it means kind of safe defense. So he's just going to go for this, he's just going to go Mega Man here. Honestly, really bad Mighty Miner, because if he even if he decides to pop the ability, the Scale Rings would still help. This time he just goes in for the Barbarians. I think this is a really smart Barbarians because they're now aged up, and also Call has the Zap rating in case the opponent has a Skelly Army or something. And the opponent might have committed here a bit over, so he's just gonna go for Goblins here. Goblins are just getting one-shotted here. This is absolutely crazy. Look at the Barbarians. Wallbreaker Kite is coming down, but there's nothing gonna do. This is nothing. There's nothing like left. This is crazy, guys. This is really crazy, and this is, I think, the offensive pressure also of course, of the Evolved Barbarians, guys. So, guys, we're back in the game here from Call the Legend against Killer Doozy, and this guy plays a really interesting RG deck, and you'll see Call kinda not being in the best position, but winning from there is the key. So he's just gonna go decide for Balloon opposite. Why? Because he doesn't know what to do. He thinks like he most likely thinks it's gonna be Hawk Firecracker, but it's not, and he just decides to go for Mega Man here. Activate King Tower. And I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but he didn't know his deck, of course. He's just gonna go for Tombstone now. Tombstone is coming down here against the Phoenix. And the opponent's just gonna drop here his Royal Ghost. So, Tombstone is still alive. Tombstone is still alive, guys. Like, I don't know, like, he knows every single interaction when Tombstone is dying, when it's alive. And he just decides to go on Lava and opposite lane, which is a really smart play because the Ghost is still, like, the Ghost is dying from the Tombstone, right? Just like Freelix away, so Freelix a gain for call. And the Tombstone also killed the Phoenix entirely. This is crazy. So, Call's just gonna go in here for his Barbarians. He's fireballing, so he goes in skate ranks. Of course, really annoying for Call that opponent has Firecracker and also the Firecracker and also the Phoenix. Normally I just play Phoenix, which is a really good matchup. That's also the main reason why Call is so high. He's always beating Royal Giant consistently, and this is great. So the opponent's going to be aggressive now, and Call is kind of knowing that he has a problem because the opponent has now his Royal Giant back in cycle. And Call has no... Oh no, he missed the fireball. Bro, Call! He missed the fireball. Opponent gives well played. Let's remember the well played, guys. Let's remember the well played, because Call the Legend is a legend for a reason. So like, look at the situation, guys. It's really bad. 1-1 against Royal Giant. You can't do anything against Royal Giant at 1-1, right? So Call's just going to decide to go for a Lava on there. And I think right now, he's just gonna go decide for. He's just gonna go for this. He's just gonna go for E-Wolf Barbarians there. But really good balloon placement also, right? He does a really good job there. So I'm just gonna go. He's just gonna go for Fireball here. Great Fireball. Your opponent also has arrows, which is crazy. But the balloon gets another shot, and Call is kind of back in this game. And you don't know how he's back in the game, but he actually is. And also, you kind of need to keep in mind the opponent didn't get any damage, right? It's not like even like the damage trade, he loses his tower and does like 1k damage on opposite lane. He didn't do any damage in this type of push. This is crazy. So, I know sometimes we don't have to feel it, but I'm playing like his deck, and I'm going to be aggressive with Lava Loon. I'm just going to get counter pushed and destroyed there. So, he's just going to go Fireball here. He has kind of Barbarians ready. He knows that like the opponent can't go really RG. And look at the Tombstone, guys. Once again, killing everything. Just cycling back, just gonna go for another Tombstone. This is his best placement against Royal Giant at 1-1. And he just decides to go for Scale Dragons. So Scale Dragons are coming down. And he just decides to go on Lava on the bridge. And he's kind of predicting the Royal Giant in the bag, or just like something in the bag. He just goes on Lava Loon really aggressively because he knows Phoenix alone isn't enough. He needs to go Firecracker now, and if he goes in Firecracker, it's an instant immediate Fireball by Call the Legend. He needs to go. What an absolutely crazy Fireball timing from the opponent. That was, to be fair, crazy. I've never seen that before. This is really great. So, just another Tombstone from Call. Just continue playing the Tombstone, guys. And as you guys can see, the skeletons are going to stack up, and they're just going to kill the RG alone, it feels like. So he needs to always commit the Ghost. So he just goes in for Lava in the pocket now. Skate Rings are still alive. He just goes in Balloon here. Of course, the Firecracker gets a bit annoying, but he just decides to go now for Mega Man on top of the Ghost. Skeletons are still alive. He still needs to play something. And look at the Skeletons, guys. Look at the Skeletons. This is crazy. This is crazy. And of course, Evolved RG still does damage because it's busted. But not as bad as you might think. So he's just going to go for the first Fireball. He's just trying to Fireball cycle, which of course is interesting because he doesn't have a cheap cycle. He's just gonna go Zap here. He just goes in for another Tombstone here. And he's just gonna panic. He's just gonna go Fire once again. I think this is one of the most clean gameplay I've ever seen from Call the Legend after the start, because he messed up the start. But this is kind of right. What I think is important to kind of know, that you can always kind of counter with this deck. So if you like playing a deck which you feel like, okay, sometimes you can do a mistake, this is the deck you want to play. But Call, actually, like, I feel like when he wants to play great, he always does it. When he wants to win, he wins. It's like his game. He decides whenever he wants to win, wants to lose, wants to play serious. But when he plays serious, he's winning most of the games right now in the new meta. So make sure to try the stack, even without the roll for Barbarians. It's absolutely crazy, guys.